Welcome, Horror Fam, to HHN 365, a Halloween Horror Nights podcast. My name is Duff, and as always, I'm here with my co-host, Jess.
What's up?
Hey, how's it going? We got some fun stuff, like actual fun, not the fun stuff we thought we'd have, but fun stuff regardless.
Fun stuff is such a general term that I did not know where we were going with that.
It could be negative, could be positive. In this sense, it is positive. A lot of actually fun, like the legit definition of the word stuff.
Oh yeah, I'm excited to talk about all of this.
Before we get into that, please go follow us on social media at HHN365. That's Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Also, our TikTok, HHN365pod. If you want to join us here on the show, you can leave us a voicemail at 407-906-4134. And on today's show, we're going to talk about Horror Night Nightmares version 3 spec maps for both Orlando and Hollywood, as well as some other cool stuff. We went to the panel at Spooky Empire and just other fun kind of news and rumors that have popped out. But we should probably start out with what was dropped, I guess, from when we're recording 1 day ago. From when you're hearing this 2 days ago. Dropped on the both domestic Horror Nights Twitter accounts. It was kind of like they've been doing for all their announcements. They dropped a little teaser before the full video, right? They did it once again. This one is going to be of two people inside an elevator. They look scared. Shocker. One side's lit blue, one side's lit red, which has led to some discussion, which we'll get to in a minute. I mean, it's going to be another trope of some sort, I'm sure.
Yep. It's got to be. I feel like it might be like the one that runs and the one that tries to fight or something like that. Like they're very opposite to me. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to try to predict exactly where this goes, but like how the commercial ends up. I will say the couple things people have brought up is one being, is it the weekend? Because if you know, the big discussion has been it'll probably be based off his two most recent albums. After Hours is red, Dawn FM is blue, like in their actual like color spectrum of the album itself and used in the videos. So I guess there's credence to that. It does make sense. And the other being Blumhouse, kind of, there's two people, two colors, and there's supposed to be two movies, Freaky and The Black Phone. Right. So those are the two most common ones that have come out of that. And I think most people are kind of predicting that Blumhouse will be that next announcement anyways. So
yeah, we'll talk about why we think that in a little bit, but
yeah, we'll get to it.
Oh, there was something that I noticed today that people were talking about too. HHN Orlando changed their profile picture on all their social medias and their their header or whatever.
Yep.
It's just, is it even a different font? It just looks different. I don't even know. It still says
it's like the same font. It just has like a textured background kind of.
Yeah.
I think it's part of like a bigger image. Like it almost looks like a cloudy sky kind of background, you know, like the streaky clouds. That's kind of what it reminds me of.
Yeah, and it's like it's almost like indigo. It's not even like black anymore. The old one, I don't know. And then the header is just Never Go Alone in that like scratchy, glowy font. So I don't know.
The header on the Twitter account though is like the front arch, but in that same kind of like cloudy, colorized image. So it's definitely a theme that will be used in some sense for the event. Whether that's just for some announcements or for the whole event, we'll see. To be seen. Why don't we just get to what we were leaning into, and that's a potential leak. It's not guaranteed. It could be many things. But AMC released sweepstakes to their stub members, which is their loyalty, their like membership, you know, paid, watch movies, all that fun stuff. I guess it's loyalty too. Anyways, it's a Black Phone Thrills and Chills sweepstakes. You get opening weekend tickets, and then you could also win a horror-filled trip. That horror-filled trip, I love the way they put this here. The prize, a 4-day, 3-night mystery trip for winner and one guest, 13 years age or older, to Orlando, Florida, to visit a horror-themed amusement park between September 2nd and October 31st, 2022. Approximate retail value, $4,500. First of all, they said amusement park. I'm surprised no one's had an aneurysm yet.
Oh God,
Second, I
I didn't
love
even
how
think
much
about
they
that.
sidestepped calling it, Universal, because
Yeah,
we can make jokes like it'll be somewhere else. But one September 2nd to October 31st, the exact dates of HHN in Orlando.
literally. Yeah.
Um, Also, Blumhouse already has connections and is partially owned in some way, I believe, by Universal.
Hmm.
So, yeah, it's obviously Universal. Um, I do say that it's not like some definite leak because they do things like this where like you win a chance to see a movie and it ties into a stay somewhere, and it would make sense
Right.
that a horror movie ties into going to a horror event, especially one that Blumhouse is related to. So it's no guarantee it's a leak, but with the rumors the way they've been, it's been speculated. It seems likely. It's probably the case.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know. If maybe we hadn't had Blumhouse at the event before, I'd be like, "Oh, this isn't a confirmation of anything. This is just horror people doing horror things." But this isn't for exposure to HHN. This is to cross promote, I feel like, for the house and the
Hmm.
movie.
Yeah,
So, like from a marketing standpoint, I feel like we were supposed to get the announcement and no one told AMC that it was delayed.
exactly. Because the timing as well. We were expecting a
Yeah,
Blumhouse announcement. It's yeah. A lot of stuff adds up to it, meaning the Blumhouse house will be coming
the
specifically
Blum.
with Black
Oh,
Phone.
I miss saying the Blumhouse house, didn't you?
Blumhouse house.
The
No, not one bit.
Blumhouse. No, we're gonna call it the Blumhouse from here on out.
Blumhouse.
The
All right,
Blumhouse.
I'm down.
Oh,
Um,
I'm glad.
yeah, I'm excited to see Black Phone, so we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, it looks scary. I'm not even gonna lie. I haven't seen Freaky. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
we'll see. I'll
yeah,
watch it if it gets, announced when it gets announced, whatever.
yeah. We'll see
Yeah.
at this point.
Yeah, I just think it's interesting too because they were like 13 years and older. We all know that Universal recommends
Hmm.
only bringing children 13 years and older. I feel like I made a TikTok about it earlier, very quickly. But I was just like, I feel like all these signs, what I just said, are pointing to like this is Halloween Horror Nights. It can't be Hollow Scream. They don't do IPs there. They
Yeah,
could.
and it also again Blumhouse associated with Universal.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to go where else. And the dates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very specifically. But okay, so I have a question for you.
Hmm.
If because Blumhouse isn't on Hollywood Spec Map, right?
No.
So why would Hollywood also post that teaser? Do you think they're going to announce something else?
So I will say that since it has happened, at who was it was Legacy, of course. The
Hmm.
common kind of like guy that everyone looks to that's more public about things. Actually, kind of, I don't have it up right now, but he's very recently has made a comment about like something like, "Oh, what if I win a trip to Hollywood instead?" Like,
Mm,
yeah.
interesting.
Mm.
Okay. All right.
So
We'll see.
maybe it is on both coasts.
Ooh. Okay.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Anyways, let's get to the like real fun part, and that's going to be the spec maps.
Woo woo.
So let's
Surprise.
let's start with Hollywood. Keep it a little lighter. They don't have as many changes, and by not as many, I mean nowhere near as many changes as Orlando does. So we'll just kind of get in there and knock that out before we get into the more in-depth switcheroos going on in Orlando.
Sounds good.
Um, so the big thing I'd say is probably that there was a property that dropped off of Hollywood's, and that's going to be An American Werewolf in London. And what we've expected for a while, based off what we're seeing in a facade in the Curious George lot, is Halloween, and also it's announced. But that's the
Just
first time it's made its appearance on the spec map as well. So
just stab me in the heart, why
it's
don't
not
you?
it's not usual that like an announcement beats the spec map either. I just realized
Oh,
that.
that's true. Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. They probably just did that for funsies. Ancient Nightmares was like, we're not going to give it to you.
right,
We're going to
right.
get Jess excited for no reason to experience the house she wants to experience. It's okay. I missed
One day,
my two chances.
probably not.
I'm the
Probably
asshole
not.
in this scenario because I missed the two chances Orlando had American Werewolf. Fuck me at that point. It's my fault.
Yeah, you're right. It's your fault.
I'm sorry. I'll call myself out. I was being a little whiny baby. I should have gone. It's okay.
Uh, but this isn't the same exact location, Curious George Tent 2, as American Werewolf in London would be. The only other change, really, of note here is that Killer Clowns from Outer Space, what they called 2, has become Killer Clowns from Outer Space, like the original. Still the same location, that tent that's popping up behind Soundstage 29. Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised at all.
Well, this is what they did last year with Pandora's Box. Remember, they
Hmm.
said it was Pandora's Box 2, and then it just ended up being Pandora's Box. So I feel like this is their scapegoat.
And from what's been seen, it looks like it's the same, at least facade and exit area. So we've expected it to be the same house it was. So
Well, and also
yeah.
someone was looking at the layout on the floor because they had it like mapped out, and the ending like couple rooms were the exact same layout
No,
as the
yeah, not
house.
surprising.
Yeah, so it's okay.
Well,
I'm excited.
yep. I mean, again, not surprising, but eh. I mean, have not seen it.
I'm still gonna go through it.
Still going through it. Maybe multiple times. Definitely multiple times.
Definitely. Oh
R.I.P.
my
to
god,
our baby.
I'm so
Um,
excited.
I think that's
That's it.
kind of it, right? Because they already had Hollywood Harry before, I believe.
They did, which still is making no sense to me with the Nope sets being built.
Right, right.
Be- I
Maybe either it's wrong, or they could tie the Nope sets into that, or
It could.
it could be separate.
It
Who
could.
knows?
Yeah. I was gonna say it could be like a scare zone. I don't know. I don't know. You have to
Uh,
ride the terror tram to experience the scare zone.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Regardless, yeah, it says Hollywood Harry. We're seeing Nope sets come up. We'll see what happens with that. Um, yeah, but that's it for Hollywood. Our Orlando discussion is going to go on quite a bit longer. Let's keep it light to start so we can kind of bury ourselves a little bit later. Let's go scare zones, because last time on version 2, there was one scare zone that was going to be in Central Park, and that was Scarecrow, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now they have 5 scare zones listed. Scarecrow still in Central Park. You're also going to have traditional Halloween, which is in Production Central. In New York, you have Candy Mutants. In Hollywood, you have vampires. And in San Francisco, oh, yeah. In San Francisco, you have Treeks and Foons. Oh, okay.
Hmm.
I mean, would I be upset? No. Do I
No.
think that's going to happen? No.
No.
I'll just say it flat out. I don't think that's going to be accurate. One, because like a big draw of what they were before was the foam party and what people think
Mm-hmm.
fondly of. They're never doing that in this
No.
day of Horror Night. Never,
There's
absolutely
too many
not.
people.
Someone will purposely slip and sue Universal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No. Even with as safe as they can possibly make it, however they can do it, it's too much of a liability. That was what, in 2002?
Yes, correct.
So times were different back then.
Quite a bit.
Very different. And like I was telling someone they could do like the smoke bubbles from Killer Clowns, but it's not going to be the same effect. It's not going to be
Mm,
anywhere near as cool. So why do it?
yeah, no, mm-mm.
And I get the draw. And I think if you were going to do it, San Francisco's a great place to put them because it's smaller. They can have a good time over there. I don't know, but it's not happening. I'm sorry.
I do agree. I do agree. But yeah, I also don't think it's coming. I also will say, while I think a lot of these sound pretty cool
Yeah.
for the most part, it would be quite early for Horror Night Nightmares compared to the past to drop all the scare zones.
Hmm.
So maybe don't get too attached to them, because just going off what they've done in the past, don't know how long any of them will last, to be honest.
Yeah. And to me, this just sounds like they were kind of going off the, well, that, Halloween themed scare zone rumor was really strong.
Hmm.
So we can just kind of go off that because that's what this sounds to me like. Traditional Halloween, I know that's on there, but vampires, scarecrows, and candy mutants still all sound very Halloweeny to me. And Treeks and Foons could just be like big costumey things for Halloween. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
or you could even make the Treeks and Foon trick or treaters, and I wouldn't be mad.
Oh my god.
Can you
I
imagine
would
them
love
with the
that.
little can shakers in their bags? You're welcome, Universal. I'm just feeding you ideas every episode at this point.
They're gonna steal you. They're gonna take you off the show, and you're gonna be an A and D.
If I disappear, oh yeah, I'm gonna be one of those people. How do I take your job? No. I'm sorry. Why would you ask that?
Oof.
Spicy. But yeah, Tricks and Spoons. Yay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Again, I don't know about any of these happening, but most of them I would enjoy. So,
Yeah, Candy Mutants in New York. That sounds like a
right?
movie.
That sounds like it could be so fucking cool.
Oh my god. They could pump sense in too. Like,
Oh, you know that thing would smell every inch.
oh my god, they could be like toothsomes, but scary.
Mm.
Oh.
Mm.
Can you imagine Penelope and Jock out there just like Jock's got like no head. And she's like a vampire hunter now. I don't know.
I'm into it.
Yeah,
I'm sold.
I'm just feeding everyone ideas. It's fine.
I think that's probably enough for scare zones, though.
Yeah,
Just
that's
'cause,
it.
yeah. Shows though, Marathon of Mayhem still there.
Yep.
Last time that was the only show. Now, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Last time they had a second show, but it was unknown. Is what I was going at. Now it is Nightmare Fuel. So surprise. So Fear Factor stage being utilized.
As it should. It's still there.
Will it be called Nightmare Fuel again? I don't know. Will it be a
Oh.
Nightmare Fuel type show at least? I'm sure.
Yeah, it'll probably just because Nightmare Fuel, it was all about, the nightmare of the main character, so I get that. It'll probably just be themed, or maybe they're just gonna redo the show with different acts and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because they could just do different, like acrobatic and different, whatever, instead of fire, do something. I don't know. I'm not creative in that way.
Yeah, no, I can't help you there at all. Sorry.
I did theater for years, but I can't come up with any idea right now about it. But I'm excited to see it. I liked it. I only saw it, I think, once last year, maybe twice. But I just hate sitting in that theater. It is way too fucking hot in Florida
It's as
in
cool as
September.
as cool as the fire scenes were. Like it made it unbearable some nights.
Sweltering. And I have like my little fan. You've seen me, but that thing doesn't do shit in the crowd. I'm sorry.
No.
And like you always want a beer with it or something, so then you're hot because you're drinking alcohol too. It's a whole thing. I will see it though if it comes back. I liked the music last year a lot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It was like all of our childhoods for all those songs. So
yeah, right. And they ended with a lead into what might come this year.
Perfect. That's true. I just like that it also gives more jobs in Orlando to performers and stuff like that.
Yep.
But I like that that's going to be used without a Men in Black tent house for the first time in a while, or for the first time.
That's pretty exciting. That dump's not going to be as bad as it has been.
Yeah, and then I feel like they can funnel people out both ways. Like instead of having them all go through, the Diagon.
That's true.
That way. What is it going to do if a crowd of people is walking towards Men in Black? It's not going to do anything. But if there's a house entrance there, yeah, that does something. But yeah, I'm excited to see.
Yeah, it will be interesting for sure. Let's get to houses where the real fun is.
Please.
Normally I would just kind of read through them first, but there's a big one right off rip. What used to be an A, what has been speculated for a bit to not come to the event, is now off the map. That is Stranger Things. Off this spec map, in its place now is simply Witch.
Don't shoot the messengers. We're just telling you guys.
That's Witch, like original, not like Vitch.
No. Yeah. Even though we joked about it earlier.
Yeah.
I love this. I'm sorry. Sorry, Stranger Things, RIP. Just finished the first part, so I get it. I also wanted it to come, but it's not happening. Everybody needs to calm down.
Yeah, sorry. I know people have been trying to hold on hope, but it's been very... I never want to say definite, but it seemed very likely that it would not be coming this year. Yeah. So.
As much as we all want it, I understand Vecna is fucking terrifying. I literally die if he popped out. Oh my god. But which is so exciting because this goes back to traditional Halloween. I don't think this is going to be tied to Wicked Growth. I don't. I think we might get like a hint of it in there, but nobody freak out. Everybody calm down.
Yeah, I don't think it's some like prequel, sequel using the witches. No.
There were witches in there. In that house, 100%. I don't think they belong in this one. I think this is going to be like a really cool original on witches. And I think they're going to be terrifying if this is actually happening.
Because there's a lot of different ways you can take simply witch,
Yeah.
It's not just one avenue by any means.
You could even do it in like a way because wasn't uh Castle Vampire, wasn't that whole thing that different like clans of vampires were coming from like different parts of the world? So they were all different. So they could even do
Hmm.
like something like that where it's different witches. So, who from, the South, who from South America, who from Europe, who from like this area, and they all have different tales about witches.
Mm,
I don't know.
I like it. I
That's what
like the concept.
yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll see.
So now that that shocker's gone, we can kind of go rattle off what there is, and then we'll get into the actual changes.
Yeah.
So we also have the Evil Dead, Halloween, El Chupacabra, Dead Man's Wharf, The Horrors of Blumhouse, which is the Black Phone and Freaky, Bughouse, Seeds of Extinction 2, Universal Monsters Legends Collide, and The Weekend. So I would say nothing's too crazy outside of course, Stranger Things, the big omission here. We did lose a location though. Again, something that's been rumored and kind of started to seem obvious just because there was nothing going on physically in that location. That's Men in Black.
Hmm.
That tent is no longer listed, and that has added an additional soundstage. So, which we've talked about before, they filed a permit for soundstage. It was 21, right? I believe so.
20, 21,
Was
22,
it
something like
22?
that. I don't remember.
Anyways,
I'm
they
sorry.
filed they've already filed the permit. We saw that previously, but
Yeah.
now it is off the spec map as well. No more Men in Black tent. Um, what else we got? Halloween also moved from a soundstage. Now they have it listed in the new parade warehouse,
Yes.
right? Or do they have it listed in the old parade
Oh,
warehouse?
no, I think it's in the old one because remember, we said that it was wrong
Wait,
because
no, no, on
no?
the new no on the new one it's in a soundstage.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
The
no, new one it's in a soundstage. Bug moved from a soundstage to Sprung Tent 2.
mm,
Dead Man's Wharf has just switched locations and sound stages. Blumhouse moved from Men in Black, of course, to Fast and Furious. And Chupacabra has moved from Fast and Furious to a soundstage. Now, one thing we learned later on from the Spooky Empire panel is that Monsters, which they had in the new Parade Warehouse, is actually going to be in the old Parade Warehouse,
yes. That
which
was a
means
tidbit that they gave us.
if it's just simply swapping it, the Weekend is currently in the new Parade Warehouse or the old Parade Warehouse.
Hmm.
So I assume that would shift over to the new Parade Warehouse.
Yeah, because the spec map has it in the new one, which is where the 2019 one was, but we know that that was, yeah, like we just said. But I like that they're not going to put it in the same one because then they're already going to compare, but I feel like it might get too similar
Hmm.
with the
Yeah,
comparisons that way.
I think it would make it kind of almost force you to do it,
Hmm.
whereas like you don't necessarily have to.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
The only way I think that they could avoid that is if we enter through the exit and exit through the entrance and like completely throw us off. But there's that like ramp, right?
hmm
Leaving the new one. So I don't think they would ever put us up a ramp to get in a house. Like,
mm,
oh, maybe not. No, they have, right?
yeah, it's happened in
Oh
Sprung
yeah.
Tents and
Oh, so maybe that's a fun one. Let's turn it around, Universal. Flip the layout, and then we'll all be discombobulated,
boom,
and we won't know what building we're in anymore.
boom. Um, but yeah, I guess we kind of went through that quick. That wasn't as much as I kind of thought it would be talking about it.
Well, wait, do you have any opinions on any of the switches? Like,
I mean, no, I think, yeah, I mean, for the most part, I think this one looks a little bit better. Like, I
mhm.
think, I don't know,
Well rounded.
Bug House just kind of comes off as a tent house, to be honest. So,
Hmm.
I mean, that's just a preconceived notion by its name, but it's also speculated there now. So, it sounds more natural to me. I don't know why. It
Hmm.
just does.
Yeah,
Um, otherwise, eh. I mean, I'm kind of happy Blumhouse is still staying
in a tent,
not in a soundstage. It'll be in
yeah,
Fast and Furious.
which is a
Um,
tent. So yeah,
yeah, so Men
literally.
in Black to Fast and Furious, pretty much an equal swap there. Yeah, no. Otherwise, you know,
I like Chupacabra moving from a tent to a soundstage. because I feel like we can get. I know we could still get puppets in a tent, but
Mhm.
bigger
Yeah,
puppets,
I just
Yeti
don't I
kind
don't
of.
know what they're gonna be going for like
Right.
sets. So it's tough for me even to say like, does it need a soundstage? Could it be a smaller location?
Does
Should it
it
be
need a
like a smaller?
soundstage?
I mean, I
No.
don't think anything really needs it for the
Right.
most part, but
Okay. What
especially originals.
was Lightning Gulch in a tent or a soundstage or where was that?
Soundstage.
Okay, so my thought process is, like I just explained the witch. This is just the things I think about when I'm, bored. Uh, I feel like because Chupacabra is from like the South, right? Or like Mexico, or I'm not sure, right?
Yeah,
Something like that.
it's
Like
multiple
Texas too,
cultures.
right?
I mean,
Yeah. There's
Mexico,
different.
Puerto
I know.
Rico. There's
Yeah.
yeah.
But like to me, like if they're gonna go in a soundstage, they could do like Lightning Gulch set wise and like really put you in a town that Chupacabra is like just ravishing through.
Mhm.
Like all
That
like
would
I don't
be
know.
cool.
Like
So
that kind of.
take like a ghost town set style angle to it.
Yes. Yeah, but
Hmm.
like a city in, insert wherever here.
The correct location, yes.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure. I'm sorry. I will educate myself 100%
Well, I
on
mean,
this
they could.
before the
The
event.
thing is, it's different cultures, so
Yes.
it could come from multiple locations. We'll find out. Maybe they do one. Maybe they mix them together. We'll see. Who knows?
Oh, that's true. Oh, I'm excited. Either way, I like urban legendy kind of houses, so
Mhm.
I'm excited, and I think a soundstage. It doesn't need it, like we said, but it makes it more exciting.
Yeah, and like we don't know what they're planning, so maybe it does need it for like what their
Yeah.
concept has been this whole time. Maybe it is something that like is going to be a larger scale, and again, when you think of like these originals, they're just kind of Bug House, Chupacabra, stuff like that. It just kind of like makes you think smaller tent. I don't know why. I think it's just because that's how they've done things a lot in the past. But
Yeah.
you get like icons, scary tales. You think, okay, like I can see why at this point that would be a soundstage. So it's
Yeah.
again preconceived notions built off what we've seen in the past more than anything.
I get that, but I also yeah, and also tent houses we've talked about make you feel a little bit more claustrophobic in a way,
Hmm.
and Bug House I feel like lends itself better to that. But
Oh yeah.
Chupacabra doesn't immediately make me think we need to feel tight.
Although
I
if
don't
you
know.
do puppets, there
Yes,
could be an advantage there in tents. I will say.
absolutely there could be.
But again, we don't know what the fuck they're doing, so this
No,
is a very moot conversation.
all of our conversations are until they're
Uh,
announced.
I mean, true, true.
Just
We're not
saying,
important in any way.
we don't know
Conversations
anything.
mean nothing.
You guys know this, but I feel like we don't know shit. So
I barely
no.
know how to edit this podcast,
Literally, I put the audio together for him.
but she
He
does.
just does this placing. We're just gonna out ourselves every episode a little bit more.
Damn,
Uh, it's a team here at
how
365.
embarrassing. All right.
What's next?
So what we discussed just before we got into our Chupacabra rant is that Monsters was listed in the new Parade Warehouse. We actually had it confirmed to us at the Spooky Empire panel that it is in the old Parade Warehouse.
Yes.
I kind of mentioned in there we were at the Spooky Empire panel. Hey, so let's
Hey.
talk about some of the things they discussed there, namely the two announced houses they gave us some more details on.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, I was talking about monsters, so let's lead in that way. That's also the one where they gave us the most info because they kind of gave us basically the whole backstory, or like the
Yeah.
very like the main part of the backstory. Um, just you want to kind of kick us off on what that is?
Sure. Okay. You're gonna have to help me with the mummy
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, sure. I'll fill in where necessary.
So the story starts with Talbot, which is the Wolfman when he's a man. And he is just like at his wit's end. He's killed everybody he cares about and loves. And if you want to watch them actually talk about this, it's on our TikTok if you're interested. Um, we have that whole video up there
At HHN 365 Pod.
Oh, thank you. I was doing the plug wrong. But yeah, so he's at his wit's end. He, is ready to almost end it all because he can't love anybody without hurting them. And an anonymous beneficiary writes him a letter and says, I know a solution for you. There is this amulet that they've uncovered in Egypt, the amulet of Ra that controls the sun. With that, you can control the sun and never have moon, and you can, walk again and be fine. And so he goes out there and he's digging through the sand. and it's like right at the end of, when the moon's coming out, and boom, it's a full moon. He turns and he attacks like the crew that's digging there too, I believe, because here's where Duff's gonna come in.
Oh, right here. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I don't remember anything about the mummy part. I'm sorry.
yeah. So yeah, he turned. Yeah, he killed the crew that was he had digging, of course. So yeah, the mummy is also there. One thing I want to point out is that the mummy is not Emotep, as many people would say. I believe probably myself and yourself included.
Yep.
It is Karis, which makes sense for two reasons. One, he's the same mummy that was used in the previous Universal Monsters house. Duh, should have caught on there. And
Oh, I
two,
didn't know that.
he is actually so of the original 5 films. Emotep is Boris Karloff in the original.
Mhm.
So he's kind of like the bigger name because of that. The next 4 of that original kind of like early franchise of the Mummy is all Karis and not Emotep.
Oh.
And since it's kind of going off that time frame, it just makes sense that it's Karis and not Emotep. But yeah, anyways, it's Karis. Hey, there you go. Also wants the amulet, of course. They didn't give us too much backstory on what's going on with him, really. But then it does move on that the informant that tipped off Talbot was, of course, Dracula.
Because he wants the amulet so he can be a daywalker and control the sun.
Yes.
So he was trying to get the Wolfman to do his bidding for him. So everyone, like, I kind of love this because I feel like all 3 of them are the main character in their own story, but they're all just intertwining.
I will say, the way that it was told makes it seem like Wolfman is kind of the main.
Yes.
I don't want to call him the protagonist, but main character.
Yeah, but it's set in Egypt for the most part.
Egypt, yes. At least on our coast, which we'll get to.
Yes.
So it kind of has the setting of the Mummy, but the main character as the Wolfman. We'll see if Dracula takes center stage more at some point, maybe on the other coast instead.
Yeah, because that was another thing is we know that the other coast takes place in London as the second part to the story.
Mm-hmm. And that is his warehouse.
Yeah, Dracula owns a shipping dock, warehouse, whatever. So I feel like Dracula is in Egypt and ours, obviously, and then they all somehow are just in London for the next part of the story. We'll figure out how they get there.
I am curious to see if our house actually tips off how that happens, how it ends. I'm sure it'll have some kind of teaser,
what if it ends at a dock in Egypt? And they're all shit. I'm so excited. I told Duff I was excited for this house, but I've said it before, these are not my monsters. I've had my year already. But this panel made me so fucking excited for this house. It's probably top 3 right now for me, based on the spec map.
Yeah, I'm very hyped for it based off this story. And then what we're getting into, of course, is that we had it confirmed by John Murdy a while ago that, or broke by John Murdy, I should say, that it's a 2-part, both coasts. So Orlando's is part 1, Hollywood is part 2. Also confirmed here at the panel as well. They said the same thing. And we kind of were like, I think that's the first time it's ever done. They confirmed first time that's ever been done, where they're telling 2 stories or telling 2 parts of a story on both coasts. So I think that's really cool and really pays off for you if you're someone who's lucky enough to visit both coasts.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what the makeups look like because they've never collaborated on something like this. It's always been their interpretation of the same IP. So I feel like the characters are going to have to look the same, but they both have tackled the monsters before and they never looked exact.
No, they've never been exact, but I will say that there's definitely a specific style. Obviously, you've seen the artwork. It's based off that. So they're kind of, close enough. It's not in times past where it's a fully different take,
if it's a continuation of the same story, I want, as a makeup person, somebody who used to do it, I want to see the makeup continuation.
That'd be great, of course.
So I hope that they at least collaborate on that. And we got to hear from one of the lead makeup artists on the panel. So I would like to see, because she's the one who designed Pumpkin Lord. I want to see what she does. I don't want to, I want to see her interpretation also and theirs together. I don't know. I'm asking for a lot.
Oh, real quick, before I forget, because I don't have this written down, I thought one thing that was funny is she was discussing the creation of Pumpkin Lord.
Oh, yeah.
and how she originally brought the Pumpkin Lord to them as like kind of like they liked him, but he was like skinny, kind of like
Lanky, yeah.
lanky, and they're like, "That's great, make him chunky,"
We want a chunky boy. That's literally what they
and
said.
like, yeah, like it's
I
funny
love
how
it.
like such little things like that change so much. 'Cause if the Pumpkin Lord wasn't the way he was, like inside a gourd,
Hmm.
and big boy, I don't know if he would have had the same fandom.
No, oh no. Everyone wanted to like hug the pumpkin lord.
Hmm.
He was lanky. We all would have been like, ew, who's that? That's the pumpkin lord? That's Lil Boo.
But yeah, no, I thought that was just kind of funny, and also like how obviously it shows a different way, but like they literally just went to her saying like, "This is kind of our base idea. Draw something up." Like, obviously the creatives themselves will come up with the concept, but they give the actual artists so much
Hmm.
power to what these characters will actually look like in so many cases. And I think that's so cool because you kind of think of like the creatives that they make the house and like they have their hand fully on everything. They
Hmm.
really delegate a lot of
Yeah.
different things to like give other people the opportunity to make these awesome things that we love.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool. And just like they were saying that they bring makeup in very early on, like earlier than I even expected.
Hmm.
Because in like the theater world, you're brought into like the initial meeting just to hear the ideas and stuff, but you don't like you're just designing at that point. You're in and out until like a couple weeks before when you need to start like actually doing tests. So like for sculpting and everything that's different, they have a full-time shop, but I still wouldn't expect them until like I don't know 6 months out,
Mm,
like 9 months out at the earliest. But they're like fully in there like during the season talking about the
yeah,
next year.
day one because I think they actually give us a pretty rough timeline to be fair,
Hmm.
but they said they don't spend more than like 2-3 weeks actually like writing something, or I'm sorry,
Hmm.
2 to 3 days, like just writing up the base plot of a
Yeah.
house before moving forward with it. Um, so like from there, it's not long before you're actually going to the artists, the makeup artists, and getting that additional detail done.
Yeah.
So they're day one from the process. It's year round job for
And a
all of
lot of
them.
the time, like they said that they don't even give them sketches of what they're thinking of. They just go creepy pumpkin king and
Hmm.
like she made the pumpkin lord. Like
Hmm.
it's very cool as, someone who used to dabble in that shit. I love the makeup side. I was very excited that there was a makeup artist on the panel.
Yeah, and oh man, like even just seeing like early concept art of the Pumpkin Lord. It's
Hmm.
it's already become such an iconic house. It was only last year. Going to the event for a while. It's one of my favorite houses of all time, and Pumpkin Lord is one of my favorite characters of all time already. And like she created him. She was right there. Saw
Hmm.
some of the concept. It was just such a cool moment. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, I guess that's it for the monsters part, though. So now we'll move on to Halloween, where there's a little bit less to say. Um, But Aiello did say that it is a new interpretation. We fully expected it on this coast at the very
Hmm.
least. Um, also done at a larger scale than previously. This is also speaking strictly on HHN 24's 78 Halloween.
Hmm.
Um, it was also a fun moment where he got really excited about the moment where he found out that the actual Halloween score was going to be in that trailer.
Hmm.
Because that's something that typically doesn't happen. And he, discussed how hard that can be to get the rights to do that for something like that. And that when he heard it, he blew his mind.
Yeah, isn't this also the first time that they've been able to use it? I think he said.
Hmm. Yep.
So for the first time
Hmm.
they've done Halloween, everyone complains how many times they've done Halloween, but it's still a big deal. Like in rights holding and shit, that it's hard, and normally you have to spend some money to get that.
Hmm. Now that like they have got it in the house and they have got it in the park, but
Hmm.
to use it like that's completely different rights to
In
use it in a
marketing and stuff,
trailer. Yeah,
yeah,
very
because
very different.
that shit's going on YouTube. It's probably going to go on
Mm,
TikTok once they have a verified TikTok. Universal does Orlando, and they don't use it.
that's interesting.
I'm don't understand. I feel like they really should. They can make stupid minion videos all day, and people would eat that shit
Oh
up.
god, don't. All right, man, we don't need him to do it.
It's like Summer of the Minion right now, isn't it, or something? I haven't
Yeah.
been in a minute.
Oh man, the medallion. What's the movie called?
No,
Yeah, there's a. You didn't see it? There's a minion medallion at the park right now.
no. The
Hmm.
Rise of Gru.
Yeah, that. Yeah, it's
God
just
damn it. Is the
standard.
entrance?
Yeah, the standard medallion at the arch and
Oh, that's the. I thought you meant like a coin. Oh
no,
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 like
no, no.
actually the entrance medallion. Are
The
you fucking
entrance
kidding me?
medallion. Yeah.
let's talk about something else, please. I don't want to talk about this.
Had fun at the panel. Yeah, that's about
Oh,
it. I think.
it was a great
Yeah.
time. Yeah, Spooky was fun. I got. I'll talk about Spooky for a second
Yeah,
because
go for it.
I was there all 3 days because I got tattooed 2 out of the 3 days. Sterling, I saw Sterling. We both saw
Yep, we
Sterling.
did.
Fear and Beer had their own booth. They were killing it. Every time I went over there, they had a little crowd of people.
Yep. And I
And
know that they were doing a raffle, and that was pretty popular apparently.
I think they were doing the posters from last year.
Yep.
Yeah, so that looked really fun. Spooky was awesome. That was the mini one. So I want to see the bigger one. They announced this at the big convention center.
Oh,
Orange
October?
County. Yeah,
Is it?
October.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's gonna be huge.
That's a big con. I was talking to Fear and Beer Duff. We
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Well. We'll see. We'll
Mm.
see. We'll see.
I'm just saying. We'll see.
We got work to do.
Oh yeah, we do. But yeah, no, it was awesome. I got a cute little Jason tattoo. I'm very happy about him. Yeah, spooky. Woo.
Yeah, I had a good time my one day there. Yeah, that's it. I was there one day. It did the panel. It was a little bit smaller than expected, but I guess I should have expected that by
Yes.
its location. But I mean, it's still a good time. To be honest, it was the only, not a disappointment. The reason I didn't have to spend as long there is because a lot of the vendors were the ones we just saw at Spookala not long ago.
Yes,
So,
they were.
you know, I just seen a lot of those same things less than 2 months ago at this point. So,
Yeah. But
it was still. I think it's really well run, and I think there's a lot of great vendors there. It's a lot of fun.
yeah. I did not go into the meet and greet room because you had to wait in a line. And like, I don't know. At the one I went to last October, you didn't have to do that. It was just kind of like a big open area, and you could walk around and see who was there. So I didn't like that, but whatever.
I mean, I kind of liked it in the sense that because you know how sometimes the meet and greet lines will kind of overflow into everything else,
like Spookala. Yes, absolutely.
It is kind of nice that it's in a separate room for the sense that it's not getting in the way at all. But it's also kind of cool to just walk around and like see some of these actors and writers and whoever it may be, you know, YouTubers too. But yeah, no, it's cool to see them, but also cool when they're not blocking everything else.
Yeah, and then free root beer for life. Not free, but unlimited root beer for life.
Included root beer for life.
Included root beer. Hey, I brought that cup all 3 days.
I hope you took a very good advantage.
I did. I got some before my tattoo, after my tattoo.
I should have gave you mine. So then, does Eugene drink root beer?
He does. That's mainly why I got it. Sunday, he was very happy.
See, I could have gave you mine, and you both could have had your own cup.
That's okay. I was a little mad when he got orange. I don't drink orange anything.
See.
I was like, wow, I wish I had another cup at that moment.
We should have thought about it.
It's okay, but they come to literally every con, so get that root beer, that unlimited mug, guys, if you go.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like I'm not a huge soda guy, but I do enjoy root beer. That is like amazing craft soda. Like it's really
so good.
Like really good. So
yeah, and there's like 6 flavors. It's pretty good.
From someone who doesn't even typically like soda, 10 to 10, I do recommend.
There you go.
Anyways, back to HHN stuff. This is kind of going back to something we saw on the spec map. I thought we'd bring this up last because it's the lightest of the rumors at the moment. It's kind of been going around the forums, social media, from a couple insiders that Evil Dead 1, it was going to be Evil Dead Rise, not the original film, and 2, that it has pulled out, and not like it wasn't on this, like it wasn't actually ever coming. It's not something that happened a long time ago, but it's actually apparently pulled out pretty late in the game here. One fun comment from Legacy is that he said, scare actor appointments for contact lenses have been canceled. Of course, that is a link to the Deadite eyes and the lenses they'd be wearing.
Just rip my heart out.
But there has also been more direct words from other people as well. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to be honest. I was going to be less excited for Rise than I would be for the original anyways.
Same, but...
Also, if it really is pulling out this late, we're probably getting a 6 original.
Yeah, we are.
I mean, it's possible they pull something from the Universal library. That's a little bit easier to get. But this late in the game, typically when this happens, you get an original instead.
Like Billy to Boris.
Of course, you could also use the purge coming from Scream, but
That's true.
it's happened. But also, again, that's Universal adjacent. So
Yeah, but that sucks. I love Evil Dead. I don't know how I would like the new one. We'll see. But does this mean the movie's gonna get delayed? Could that be why?
I think it is. Yeah, I think it is.
Oh, that would suck.
Also, this is a Bruce Campbell-less
Yes. Yes.
experience. So I
Which
mean,
now, I'm not as sad because that's my man's, but
mm,
Pizza Papa, man. Love that man.
but yeah, just something we thought we'd bring up. It's again very light rumors at the moment as far as rumors
Mhm.
go, but it has been picking up steam over like literally 24 hours. So just thought
Yeah.
we'd throw it out there just to get anyone prepped if they were getting excited to maybe not get your hopes too high for that property.
Yeah. I did also see, I just remembered this. Some scare actors are getting their chainsaw approved
Mm,
for the event. So, like, they can wield chainsaws. So, that's fun. Chainsaw camp is happening right now, I guess.
man, I'd just love to be there and smell
I,
it, to be honest.
uh, Same. I would pay money.
Right?
I want to
I'll
observe.
just sit on bleachers, watch, and then
Mhm.
smell. That's all.
There should be like a cheering section for us. Are we just going to get high off fumes? Wait a second.
That's fine.
That's an experience.
I mean, we do it all every night during horror nights. Nothing new.
I love huffing on a fog machine.
Huffing on a fog machine.
I miss the fog. It's getting, wait, how many? We're 72 days till opening night as of today when we're recording this.
Yeah, we are literally a week and a half from when we're recording from the 2 month mark.
Oh
The
my
exact 2 month mark.
We are. Oh
And
my
July,
God.
also July is when we start to see stuff pop up. So
Yeah.
not long
Yes.
before we actually do like field trips to the park for
Oh
HHN
my
stuff.
God. I'm so excited. I mean, I do it whenever the merch drops now, but
Hmm. But
yeah.
now, like actual, it'll
Yeah.
start with
Building.
lighting rigs and stuff, simple stuff. But remember
Mhm.
how early that Seek and Destroy started tossing out props last year?
Yeah, that's true. It
Might
was
happen
like
again.
early August, if
No,
even
it was
August.
July. It was
Was
July.
it?
Yeah. In fact,
Wow.
if you want to talk about something real quick, I'm gonna go look it up because it's definitely in our Instagram posts.
Yeah, so that's interesting. I remember Vanity Ball went up really early in 2019. I feel like not Vanity Ball, but like the curtains and the lighting rigs and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, I also don't get too excited. I know that Minions thing that popped up and I was like, house entrance? No. It was a sign for the Minions event that's going on right now. We could see food booths pop up really early too, because
Mm.
I'm assuming it's going to be like a food festival again.
Oh, I'm sure it will.
Maybe
July
it's
July 20th last year.
Whoa. Okay, yeah, that's like less than a month away from now.
Yeah, and like this is like they had lighting rigs before that, but like
Yeah.
they had already started the setup for the stage, like the
Oh
whole like main
yeah.
scaffolding for the stage. The one that was across from that, like when they cover up the Fear Factor sign, which is always a big moment, you know.
Yeah. Isn't
And
it covered forever now though?
yeah, but I think it's probably going to get covered differently because they're going to put up the sign behind it, so it's going to get like a
Oh,
full wrap rather than just kind of like
a
looking
thing.
ugly. Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense. I'm so excited. Oh my god.
And then by July, here we go. By July 27th, they already had like half of the full theming on the stage.
Oh,
And
oh
out.
yeah, with the eye and everything. I do
Hmm.
remember that. Oh my god. Wow. Yeah, we're gonna that's my last day at work is like the middle of July.
You're gonna have a new job come mid-July then.
Going on field trips to the park. Is there construction? That's just gonna be me now.
Yeah, I mean, good.
You're
Hey,
welcome.
hey, follow our TikTok, HHN365 Pod.
Yeah, and our Twitter and Instagram at HHN365.
That's not the part I actually want to go to yet, but I guess
I know.
do we have anything else to talk about? Because
I don't think so.
no. All right. Hey, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
so go follow our social media that we just mentioned. Also, leave us a voicemail at 407-906-4134. And hey, I'm excited. And we got a lot going on now, and
Yeah.
should have an announcement, hopefully for the sake of our podcast next week, and not tomorrow or Friday. But something coming soon. So I'm excited. Another video, a continuation of that trailer series we got going. See who the
Mm-hmm.
next trope is. So good stuff. Good stuff coming.
Yeah.
But until we get that, until we talk about it, we'll see you in the streets.